Hey everybody, Courtney here with a full-length, full-body yoga flow for you. Many of you have asked for, again, a longer version of what I've offered so far on YouTube. More of what I tend to teach on Zoom and with Yogis Anonymous. So today is the day. Let's get started kneeling. Hands on your thighs. Close your eyes. Take a moment here, just landing. Choosing to take this next hour or so for your body, your well-being. Maybe lick your lips, swallow. Consider fluttering them out like a horse breath. Maybe repeating that more than once if it's helpful. And then from here, just walking hands forward. Dropping right into an ocean-sounding breath and letting that guide us through some easy cat-cows. Inhale, arch. Exhale, root and rise, round. Inhale, chest forward, traps back. Exhale, reverse the curve. So I almost always include some sort of cat-cow variations. Let's take a few more. Noting you can always mix in something a little different. But allowing it to be about this concept of inhaling to create a back bend, to expand, open the heart. Exhale to clear stagnant energy, often to forward bend or gently round. One more, feeling those two qualities. And then taking it to a neutral spine, let's separate our knees a bit wider. Big toes come together. You're shifting your booty back and down for Balasana, child's pose. Now we're not resting here, instead starting to reach and lengthen through all four sides. Taking an active variation of this quote-unquote rest pose. Triceps are rolling down, biceps revolving up. And you're feeling, again, the expansion on the inhale. That subtle but important contraction, navel drawing in and up on the exhale. Keep the length, climb to your knees. Plant the inner palms. And with your next exhale, curl the toes, lift your hips, pull it back to your first down dog. A little rock and sway of the hips is more than welcome. Getting into a calf stretch sooner than later here. Lift high on tippy toes if you want to join me. And then reach into the right heel. High on tippy toes. Then reach into the left heel. Maybe you do that again each side, or of course right into the calf stretch, or maybe holding longer in the foot stretch. Both heels eventually come down toward the ground, and you'll walk your hands back to meet your feet. Starting easy, feet hip to shoulder width. Drop the head. Maybe give it a shake. No, yes, a little bit of each. And then hands on shins or blocks. Inhale, find a flat back, Ardha Uttanasana. As you exhale, find that deeper standing fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, draw the heart, the crown of your head forward. Hinging at the hips, melt everything back in. 3 more, inhale. Exhale. Last 2. And 1. Now staying in that fold, take the extra breath or 2, maybe using your hands to gently pull yourself in. If like me, your toes want to claw, wake them up, maybe wiggle them out. And then release the arms, soften the face, the fingers. Bend your knees a lot, and let's roll it up slow over the next couple of breaths. Taking it vertebra by vertebra. Eventually easing into some gentle rock sways while you're upright. Feet are parallel, inner thighs rolling back, toes reaching forward. If you tend to collapse into the inner or outer foot, do notice that, work with that, adjusting accordingly. Then from that tall, neutral spine, you're in mountain. Inhale, shrug. And exhale, do release. Inhaling. Exhaling. Take a few more, this basic, this simple, or maybe change it up sooner than later. Last time. From there, let's circle the arms out and up toward the sky. And that simple connection, nicknamed prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, on the exhale. Inhale, taking up space, even the skin stretches as you reach. Integrating, connecting all parts of you. 3 more, moving with that breath. Starting simple, back to basics. And as things get more challenging, can you bring this deep, full, steady breath with you? Can you approach your practice with curiosity, where yes, you're challenging yourself, but you're not going too far or too fast, especially if you're new, or maybe you've been away from your mat for a while. Extending lots of compassion, grace, ahimsa in Sanskrit, to ourselves. Often translates to non-injury, non-violence. Do consider licking your lips, swallowing. 1 more of those big horse breaths, fluttering it all out. Arms releasing, do circle them out and up. Right hand to left wrist. Take a basic side stretch, keeping that sense of mountain as you move a little deeper with time. You can wrap the ribs up, even look up, making it easier by gazing forward or gently down, even dropping that right arm gently down. Do extend into the fingertips, maybe the skin reaches and opens a little more. And then after a few breaths, climb to neutral, both arms reaching up. Palms essentially facing in. Shy of straining here, but feeling that sense of effort. Giving that body a little more time to open up in the front sides and back. And then left hand to right wrist if you've yet to, going up and over. Sometimes when I say a breath, it's really 3 or 4, right? So continuing to inhale, exhale. I try to be specific, but there are moments where it is what it is. And a few moments here to assess, what do you need? I didn't talk about supporting the head and neck a little more, which you could, leaning that head into your own hand. And then eventually climbing back to neutral Urdhva Hastasana, extended mountain. This time let's lift the heels. Releve, if you will, if you've ever taken a dance class, this idea of balancing on our tippy toes. Outer ankles firming in, quads lifting without locking knees, very different than ballet in that way. Tailbone lengthen, sternum lift, maybe brighten the fingers, a little jazz hand quality. And if you're feeling really good, perhaps you do look up, you touch palms, either or. Inhale first, if it's in your control. Woo, exhaling just the heels down. Breathing in, breathing out, stretching to the top. And exhale, we're going to fold to the bottom. Inhale, chest out. Exhale, melt in. Root and rise, you're standing it up, maybe looking up. Exhale, hands come down. Take that again. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, dive. Take it all the way down. Inhale, chest out. Exhale, fold in. Root and rise, inhaling. Hands to prayer, and then all the way down by your hips as you're exhaling. This time, chin to the chest, once you've caught your balance, of course. Take a moment circling out your head, your neck. Eyes open if you are a little wobbly. Eyes closed if that's feeling good for you. At some point, reverse direction if you haven't. Roughly 30 more seconds just to stretch and breathe. Letting any stress in that area or soreness in that area go as much as you can. And as your chin next meets your chest, we're going to roll it back down like we rolled up, soft knees. Take it slow. Hanging out a little longer, maybe saying yes, no. And then you walk yourself to a down dog from there. Hands shoulder width or a touch wider, fingers are bright, that jazz hand quality. If you don't know what I mean by that, you're extending all 10. Rooting down into those finger pads, trying not to overdo it in the wrist, so the heel of your hand is lighter. And a little shake, yes, no, maybe a lion's roar with me, where you scrunch the face, stick out the tongue. Or any sort of simple sigh, if that's helpful. Let's bring it forward. We're going to find our way to a plank pose. So plank is very similar to the top of a push-up. Requires really waking up almost every muscle in the body. Reaching the heels back, the crown forward, rock, sway, find your way there. Maybe even exploring a circle one way then the other. From that plank, exhaling, lift your booty. Reach into the heels. Take another cleansing breath, letting something up and out. Inhale, coming forward, plank. Now maybe put your knees down for the first one. Elbows graze the ribs, lower halfway. Inhale, we push it up, plank. Exhale, knees can stay down. Reach your hips up and back. Variation nicknamed puppy dog. Inhaling, coming forward, plank or modified plank. You decide based on what's feeling right. Exhale, lower roughly halfway, shoulder heads lift. Inhale, back to plank. Exhale, down dog or puppy dog. Take a few on your own, moving with your inhale into that plank pose. The exhale into chaturanga or stick. Inhale, back up, plank pose. Exhale, down dog. So you'll do 2 more, noting that as you lower, the tendency is for that shoulder head to dip, really lift it up. Elbows are firming to the midline. And if you need to rest in a child's pose, do. Last few breaths making it your own with another push-up, or again, that option to chill. We'll all meet kneeling momentarily. Taking a few wrist rotations one way, then the other. And getting into a little extra movement here. Hands to the knees or the earth to separate the legs ever so slightly. Grounding down, making sure if you need a little padding, you have it. A thin pillow, towel, whatever you need between hips and heels or under the legs. And take one of those shoulder rolls. And you're going to start to reach the right arm up and back. Planting the fingertips, sweep the left arm up. The hips, the heart lift gently. Exhale, float it all down. Now that left arm's going to reach. Right arm sweeps. Big inhale. And exhale. You can add a circle or just a simple walk of the fingertips. Inhaling. Exhaling. Again on left side. As you bring it to neutral, let's take both arms up. Exhaling, both arms back and down. Now root through the fingertips, lift the hips. It's not a camel, but instead a gentle back bend in hero pose. Take another inhale, rooting to rise. Exhale, float it down. Do walk your hands forward, passing through that puppy dog. To be a little more specific, Anahata Asana, the heart chakra opening pose with the chin or the forehead grounded. Knees, ankles still about hip width, heart center expanding with each inhale. And after a cleansing breath or 5, you'll climb your way to a plank pose. Stacking shoulders on top of the wrists. Step your way in, feeling that idea of the muscles hugging the bones. Hopefully the joints are doing a little less. Your wrists, your elbows are feeling taken care of by that muscle lifting and hugging the bone itself. Shifting forward, elbows draw back. Take it halfway or all of the way down. Stretch the legs. You can start with cobra, which I'm doing, or climb to an up dog. And then do take it all the way back, exhaling down dog. So referencing consciously moving with breath, or the Vinyasa. Inhale, plank. Exhaling, take it halfway or all the way down. Inhaling, cobra or thighs lift, up dog. Exhaling, you can use the knees or roll right over the feet, down dog. One more from here to build heat, a little rest if you need to cool or calm. Maybe an extra sigh through the mouth either way. Inhale high on tippy toes, lift a hand, step or hop. Inhale, lengthen halfway. Exhale, we let it go. Inhale, standing up, maybe gazing up. Exhaling, hands are coming down. Now take a moment here to notice. Eyes could maybe close. Could add some gentle stretches, movements, or any mudra. Connecting maybe thumbs, first fingers, for example, wisdom seal. What allows you to turn your awareness to your sankalpa, your intention for stepping on the mat. And it's okay if it's simply for a mindful workout. Maybe it goes a little deeper and you're wanting to let go of something that's holding you back, that's feeling stagnant. To create space for what we reference as prana, life force. And that could look like your New Year's resolution, a certain goal or intention that you are working with. Being patient, compassionate. I briefly mentioned the philosophical concept of ahimsa. Coming back to that first with ourselves so we can extend it not only inward but outward. And non-violence, non-injury. Letting that guide you as you move. Reach your arms up, maybe look up. Taking a cactus shape as it's nicknamed, bend the elbows, open the heart. Inhale, reach up, maybe look up. Diving forward, take it down. Inhale, chest forward, traps back. If you're familiar with jumping and want to, do. Otherwise, let's step back to plank and lower. Chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or upward dog. Exhaling, take a few breaths, finding down dog. Or opting for that yogi's choice of a puppy dog, a child's pose. Little movement, stretching, or of course just getting still, helpful in coming back to that sankalpa. And that idea of an intention, arriving in the here, the now. Hips reaching up and back. Do look forward, step or float. Inhale, chest out. And on your exhale, you're folding it. Root and rise, take up space if you have it. Reaching forward if for any reason the room you're in, the space you're in is small. Exhale, hands come down. Continuing, one more just like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, reach. And exhale, fold. Inhale, chest forward, other foot can stop or both jump. And on your exhale, you lower. Inhale, find that heart opening quality. Exhale, stretching the entire back body, a forward bending quality. And any yogi's choice you need, you want for a few breaths. And then we finish our sun salutation at the top of the mat. High on your tippy toes when you feel ready. When you're empty is easiest if you're adding that jump, stepping, floating, catch a little air, feet to hands. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, fold it in. Rise on your inhale. Hands toward prayer as you exhale. Take one extra breath, shrug and release. Observing the shifts you've made through this warm-up. Now we are going to step our feet out wide, placing the mat so that you've got mat to the right, the left of you, if you will. Feet are about a meter or so apart, arms are reaching. Interlace your fingers. Send your knuckles down, lift your heart up, and just look over one shoulder for a breath, maybe two. Passing through neutral, looking over the other shoulder for a breath, maybe two. And take it to neutral, inhale. Hinging at your hips, exhale, do fold. Drop the head, maybe give it a little shake. Yeah, shake now. And also join me in looking right, reaching left. And then looking left, reaching right. Soft knees, active quads, coming back to neutral. Parallel the feet if you lost that. Really lifting through the inner arches, the ankles, the inner thighs. And take a flat back and rise. Couple of breaths here. Shaking the arms, maybe shimmying the shoulders. Gonna get into triangle pose. I am mirroring you in a sense. Turn your right leg out, left toes in. You can always have a block outside that front ankle, reaching arms wide. Take that moment to elongate from the tail to the crown and then start to shift at the hip. Feeling that right hip moving left, right hand coming down to the earth, the ankle, the block. Not shortchanging the side body to get there. You'll notice my hand is higher up the leg. Now wrap your ribs up, maybe look forward or up. And for now, let's take the top arm over. Adjusting where you need to. Last few breaths. If you are feeling that bottom knee, do firm the shin to the hand instead of hand to leg. Maybe walk the hand higher up and onto that high level of the block. Top arm will sweep hand to hip. I'm gazing down in this transition as it is tricky. And this might be where the block comes in handy. Placing it underneath that bottom hand, back foot moves in and up. Lifted leg moves toward half moon. And on the standing knee, you can bend and re-extend, feeling your quad activate. Good for strengthening the little muscles around the ankle, the knee, the hip, but not easy. Top arm can reach and expand. And if you want to keep yourself here, a lot of emphasis on breathing through the wobbles. If you want to go further, Chapasana, note you might lose everything as far as aesthetic, and that's okay. Top knee moves in. And maybe you can roll it open. And we're not stacking hips, but we are allowing the chest, the belly to roll toward the sidewall. Getting longer with each inhale. Connecting, integrating with each exhale. Step it back toward triangle. And then eventually you'll inhale, you'll rise. You'll exhale if you're using that block and you gotta prep, do. And then change it up. Left leg rotates out, right toes in, whichever one you did not do if mirroring is confusing. Eventually taking arms wide. Sometimes it's me, sometimes it's you, right? But no big deal. We get together and figure it out, both sides. Top hand comes down, reaching up, eventually sweeping the arm. Now you might feel like looking down earlier is important. On this side, for me, it is. Doesn't mean you have to stay with that, but you could. Take a few more inhales and exhales, grounding down. From there, creating space, kind of rolling the chest, the heart up. Top arm continues to release, maybe hand at hip. I'm already looking down, but maybe you need to add that, bending the bottom knee. Often a good time to weave in being on fingertips and or the block. And that back foot slides in and up, a little different for all bodies, even on both sides. Can feel like different bodies. Standing knee can bend, extend more than once, activating the muscles around the ankle, knee, and hip. That top leg could move in, rolling it open. And if you want to stay put, doing what you can to breathe through the wobbles and noting that Chapasana is not better, just different. Getting back to basics, half moon is already challenging as it is. Getting longer where we can, last moments. Letting the heart and the belly roll toward the side wall touch. And keep that as you step it back, triangle. Just that breath or two. And eventually inhale, bring it up. Exhale here. Feet toward neutral. Bringing them a little wider at this point. Hinge at your hips and do fold your way down. Start to bend into that right knee and extend through the left heel, Skandasana, side lunge. This is where a block or blocks could go under hands. Palms could also come to your heart and you could plant the outer edge of the foot that is extended, the leg that is extended. That makes it more of a strengthener. I'm doing more of the stretch. Coming up through neutral, side two, Skandasana, deep side lunge. Burning through the things not serving us, referencing Shiva. Skanda is the sun, as the story goes, one of the suns. And the idea here is to really stretch into the inner thighs, hips, groin. Again, breathing out the stuff that is no longer serving us. Maybe you're using the block, maybe not. You could always add some arms. And grounding through the outer edge of that extended legged foot. If you want to try the more advanced variation, or at least one of them. And do take it at least 2 more times each way. Or chill for a few breaths on the side that needs that time, that stretch. You might feel like it's both, and then give yourself another minute here, one of my favorites on days when I am tight. Back to neutral. Parallel the feet, roll the inner thighs back. Take the opposite thumb on top and send those arms up and maybe over. Can bend into one knee, the other, looking the opposite way as the knee that's bent. Giving yourself a little more time, ground through those feet, brighten the toes if that got lost. Unjam the knees if they're locking, lift through the quads instead. And then a big inhale to come up. A big exhale, releasing, heel toe dance. Step or jump the last little bit. And do find your way, again, to Tadasana, mountain, facing whichever direction is best for you right now. Need to move props in or out of your way. Always take that moment to do so. Inhale, arms are going to reach up. Exhale, just diving it down. Inhale, heart forward. Stepping or maybe trying that jump back, chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra or up dog. Exhaling, take it back, downward facing dog. Like your earliest down dog, give yourself some time to move through a calf stretch, a neck stretch. From there, let's lift the right leg to the sky, down dog split. Take it as easy as just rolling the hip open, kicking the leg, circling the foot, figure 8 style if you'd like. You can also go as far as flipping the dog, taking it toward the ball of the right foot, outer edge or sole of the left, lifting the hips, the heart, a gentle back bend quality here. Passing through a little side plank if you can catch it. Top foot can stack. And we come all the way to neutral, either for a vinyasa or straight back to a down dog. That moment to align, create a strong foundation. Breathing in, breathing out. Left leg lifts. Down dog split, again as simple as several kicks, circles, maybe a figure 8 or 2. Flipping that dog if you want to take it that far. Ball of the left foot, outer edge or sole of the right. Lifting the hips, the heart, maybe stretching the throat. Passing through Vashisthasana, the side plank as best you can. Still rooting to rise. And of course releasing, maybe through playing chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Or maybe skipping that part. Reaching your hips up and back. Take a rock, a sway, a bigger sigh. And then do make your way to the knees. Anahata, puppy dog, a little more specific this time with the prayer, elbows grounded. Thumbs toward the mid upper back region. Releasing the face, the jaw, maybe flutter the lips once or twice. And one of my favorite sequences for that full body effect, waking up all sorts of different muscles, and turning the wide way on your mat if your feet, your ankles are at all sensitive, or just whichever way you have the most room laterally in the space that you're in, always making that home practice, home workout work for you. So coming up to a high kneel and any sort of thin padding under the legs as much as needed. Now I'm going to continue with that mirroring idea, facing this away. Right foot, right ankle extends straight off your hip. Slide your right hand down the leg, take the left arm out, palm spins up, reaching up and over. Now a few breaths like triangle, creating space without creating strain or stress. Could mean the hand behind the head or just reaching straight up. Maybe you're looking forward or even down. And then from here, continuing with gait, you're going to come back through neutral, both arms reaching wide. Then take your left fingertips to the floor. Right arm reaches. And that outer right hip, right leg, right glute activate. It's a little internal rotation, rolling the inner thigh back. Maybe the top arm does sweep. Can also continue a little like Japasana, knee to the belly, hook the foot, kick it back, roll it open. You can always back off or add more over the next few breaths. As mentioned, waking up all sorts of interesting parts of the body and also stretching out areas that may have felt harder to find, especially in those hip flexors. Rewinding with as much grace as you can. Always a deep inhale as you lift. And a complete exhale as you release. A breath or two sitting back on the heels or just staying in that slight high kneel. Maybe releasing the shoulders, balancing the body, a little sip of water if that's what you need. Side two. Taking that left ankle out wide, or whichever one you didn't do. Inner thigh lifts, tailbone really lengthens. Walking our fingertips down the leg, right arm reaches out and up. Without strain, take it over. And maybe you're supporting your head, your neck. Maybe you're continuing to reach and lengthen. Noticing that support from front to back, from the inner thigh, the pelvic floor, the actual earth upward. Take it through neutral, breathing in, breathing out. Pausing right away, continuing with gait, walking the fingertips under the shoulder. Using that strength, again, of the outer hip, thigh, lift the leg. Little internal rotation happening, top arm will sweep. And this could be your pose. You could also continue on. Little like Japasana in that half moon where you're catching and opening up the ankle, the hip, the quad. Last moments, maybe even looking up. Taking some of the stress out of the equation. And then unwinding. Breathing in, breathing out. That moment to feel the effects of gait. Coming back to neutral. You can cross the legs or sit to one hip. Join me in the Sukhasana, sitting tall. Adjusting so that our knees are living even or lower than our hips. If they're up high, elevate your throne, at least consider it. A firmer pillow will be helpful. Rock and sway into some Sufi circles. Inhale forward. Exhale back. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going. Reverse direction if you haven't. And do take at least one more. And then again, rock, sway for just that breath or two. Inhale, consider scrunching the face, stick out the tongue, maybe look up. And if you're wondering, what is that? Lion's roar. Consider it again. Big inhale. Maybe adding Gyan Mudra, taking another cycle or two, arms extend. Spine is long, inhale. Last breath of your choice. Fingertips to the floor, switch the crossing. A minute or so of those Sufi grinds, Sufi circles, rolling it out one way then the other. Adding a repetition or two the way that needs more time, more range of motion. I'm always feeling free to go a little faster or slower. Letting the breath generally be that guide. Moving in a way that is creating space. Range of motion. Mobility. Last cycle or two. And then again, maybe adding Gyan Mudra. 2, 3, 4 cleansing exhales. That can just be in and out through the nose. You can also return to the horse breath or join me for these lion's roars. Simhasana Pranayama. Maybe one more. Lick your lips. Swallow. And to make your way to your back for a little bit of core. Heels up. Hands behind your head and neck. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, I want you to take a crunching leg action, shoulder blades lift. From there, very slowly, take the right heel down. Lift the right leg up, left heel down. Lift the left leg up and both heels down. Breathing in, breathing out. Deep inhale. Exhale, crunch. Take the inhale. Exhale the left heel down. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale the right heel down. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale, lower. Do take that deep breath in first. Exhale, crunch. Take an inhale. Exhale the right heel down. Point and lift. Exhale the left heel down. Point and lift. Exhale both heels down. We've got one more. Lowering your head, your neck, take the inhale. Exhale, crunch. Holding on the inhale. Exhale the left heel down. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale the right heel down. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale both heels down. Inhale, point and lift. Exhale, lower. Hug your knees, give them a gentle squeeze. Rock a little side to side. Taking that into a twist, and then we'll continue with our core. Scoot your hips a little right. Reach right, let your knees fall left. Melt the shoulder, maybe tip the head to the right. And allow yourself to ground, or of course prop with a block as needed. It can be under the leg, the arm, or even between your thighs, creating more space for your lower back. Easing to neutral. We'll scooch left, reach left, twist right. And propping or moving props as needed. Melting the shoulder, maybe tipping the head. Letting this heart center side have that time to open. Following the twist, bring it all to neutral. Rock and sway for that extra moment. If your neck is cranking, as they often do, including mine right now, we'll tuck up the chin. Adjusting so the shoulder blades are melting down. And the heels are going to reach up, but now hands behind your head, your neck. Taking an inhale. Exhale, crisscrossing, a bicycle style twist. Inhale, the heels can reach forward, up if they need to. Exhale, bicycle twist. Option to lower the head on the inhale or not. Definitely harder not to. Noting harder is not always better, right? We want to find that balance. Effort and ease. Strength with less stress or strain. Maybe a little more fun, a little more sense of humor in those moments. Last time on each lip. Quality over quantity in our yoga core work. From their knees, come in. One hand each leg, just gently circling them out. Knees bent, feet flat, take an inhale. Exhaling, feel the navel draw in and up. Inhale, then float the hips up. Interlacing fingers or just planting palms or triceps. Take a few breaths, rooting down to rise up. Take another inhale at the top. Exhale, do low or slow. Just a breath, maybe 2. Considering going deeper for wheel. Hands outside the ears. And a sense of lifting through a bridge, letting the tailbone reach the backs of the knees. Then floating to the crown to continue to assess if it's a good idea. Inner thighs release toward the floor. Press into the palms, lift your heart to the sky. Lengthening from the tail to the crown of the head. Last few breaths. Inhale first. Tuck your chin, exhale to start to lower top to bottom. If you want or need another back bend, take it. Otherwise, hug the knees in. Full circles around the tailbone, moving one way, then the other. We're going to rock our way up, passing through some boats. Navasana, if that's familiar. Maybe catching your balance. If you can't, no big deal. You can even turn to one side and press your way up to all fours. Boat people, maybe you're holding it for that last breath. 2, arms getting straighter, legs getting straighter. 1 more inhale. Crisscrossing. Pushing to all fours. And taking a moment to check in as far as inverting goes. Now I'm going to use the wall for a little L pose where we take our feet up into a handstand variation. So it is strength building, it is challenging, it can be a lot of fun, especially with our sense of humor being brought into the equation. Downward facing dog where your heels are at the floorboard. Making sure that the wall is clear of stuff, using maybe a door if it's stable. Planting those palms, drive your hips up and back. Looking between the thumbs instead of at the feet as much as you can. You'll walk your feet up that wall, pushing them into the wall so you've got that stability. Heels are at hip height or a little bit higher, if that feels okay. Grounding down to lift up. Draw the navel in as you breathe out. And after several breaths with both feet on the wall, maybe bending, re-extending, you could push a little into the balls of the feet, take the right leg up. If it feels better, keep the heel planted or again, playing with that edge. Second side, if your body allows, this is where the arms, the shoulders, the core start to feel it. Not buckling in those elbows, breathing in, breathing out, staying folded on the way down. Head drops. The mouth maybe opens. You can do all of that again, or of course, rest in child's pose. We'll meet you there in a minute. Round 2, of course, can also be done as more of a full handstand if you're ready to kick up. Maybe it's more about just a little hang time, staying a bit longer here. Or a combination of the two for the next couple of minutes. A body weight workout, a full inversion with head below the heart, legs above the heart. Often referenced as handstand prep, L pose, whatever you want to refer to it as. And then again, I talked about balasana, child's pose, releasing if you haven't. Fingers now back by your sides, that full resting pose. Also known as the rock for its grounding energy. Take a few more moments to feel that quality here. If your brain got busy, if you got a little judgmental with your practice, notice. Do what you can to soften, maybe change that inner monologue. Coming back to the intention that is working for you, including something as simple as I am inhaling, I am exhaling. Roll it up on an inhale. Take a few breaths to find a big table. Sufi grind, circling it out for the next minute, arching and rounding. Inhale. Exhale. Let it feel good. 30 more seconds or so, taking it the other way. And then bringing it into a single pigeon. If this is too much on the knees, take it to the back. For reclined pigeon, thread the needle. Single pigeon, people, right leg reaches. Making sure you've got enough room behind you. Slide that right knee forward and right. I'm landing with my left quad on some padding, a throne, if you will. My right glute is also propped and supported. And then I'm melting my way down from there. A full minute plus to let the right glute and hip stretch. If there's anything sharp, that is where you recline it instead. Cross the right ankle over the left thigh and thread the needle. Let the elbows splay, let the face soften. Take at least 5 to 6 more breaths from here. Any variations you want to weave in, but keeping it this simple might be enough. Gravity taking over more and more with time. Sighing to out. I'm going to weave in a little lion's roar here. Also a good time for something like a quad stretch. Variations that you're curious about. Maybe again scrunching the face up. Powerful for releasing stress, frustration, anger. Side 2 when you're ready. Any extra movement, even a vinyasa, calf stretch, neck stretch, all the above. Left leg lifts. Sliding that left knee forward and left of your own hip. And a little padding, a little extra thrown, if it's helpful, under that right quad, left glute. Feeling your way through it again. It could be a whole different situation on side 2. Listening for sharp pain, backing away if you feel any. For me on this side, I have to be a little more aware of spreading the left toes, keeping things awake so I'm not dumping into the ligaments or tendons of the knee. But it really is a feel-good pose once I find, again, a little bit more of that propped up positioning. And it could be just that little shift that does the trick. At least 5 to 6 more breaths from here. Gravity taking over more and more with each exhale. Weaving in various options, including that reach for the quad. Maybe some lion's roars, horse breaths, big sighs, odd sounds, whatever you need to let go of. Again, anything else, including a vinyasa, simple calf stretch, neck stretch, another child's pose. Then you could recline for a more traditional shavasana. Could also include a last inversion that's also a resting pose. Another L, if you will, Viparita Karani, taking it up the wall. Legs can also splay out, opening. Whether you're in traditional shavasana, reclined, relaxed, or choosing to be here in Viparita Karani, your job is to return to the present, to find a little extra gratitude for everything you've done so far, your ability to practice any and all of the poses. Maybe a little more ahimsa, a little more compassion, starting inward, being cultivated feeling that connection, the true essence of yoga, union with ourselves, with each other. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Please give yourself another 10, 20 breaths to just be. To have a beautiful rest of the day. And I hope you continue to join me on the mat. Namaste.